So I decided to turn to Buddha in January. Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to shave my head, pack to the cave, and shun away from every tiniest world desire, but I'm going to touch on two main elements: diet and meditation. This video is going to cover only the diet portion, so look forward to the meditation challenge in the next video. So what is Buddha diet? First, don't look it up, I completely made this concept out myself, but in my own definition that means I'll go vegan, eat no sugar, and drink no alcohol. I found out that some Buddhist monks are actually allowed to eat meat, so definitely what I'm saying is only valid within my own context. Now, what do non-vegan food, alcohol, and sugar all have in common? The most obvious one is they're bad for your health. It goes without saying that alcohol and sugar add calories really quickly into your body, cause diabetes, digestion problem, and energy crash to name the least. And I'm sure many of you have watched the Game Changers. Not only eating meat and dairy is one of the biggest contributors to the environmental problems today, they also cause a lot of inflammation in our body, which lead to a lot of health issues. But most importantly to me is the brain fog and fatigue that it can cause, which to someone like me who wants to learn, and try to become everything, is a big enemy. And last but not least, all alcohol, sugar, and meat can cause problems in maintaining erections. Yes, you heard it right. The thing that many of my guy friends talk about in Game Changers is these 3 college kids who switched their diet to plant-based for just one night and saw their erection last 3 times as long and 10% stronger. So yeah, that alone is already a huge motivator for me. That aside, I think all of them are huge dopamine boosters. They create these feel-good chemicals in our body. And I feel like in this age where all these substances are so easily accessible and ingrained in our social custom, my brain has just been wired to want to have the stimuli in order to feel good. I learned that there are actually 8 types of hunger, and our biological hunger is just really just 1 or 2 of them. And I feel like a lot of the times where I do something that I regret is because I'm just following my heart hunger or my eye hunger. I see something and then I feel hungry afterwards, or I'm feeling a certain emotion and then my heart reminds me of what I ate before to curb that emotion. With all that said, there are 3 specific goals or hypotheses that I want to prove by the end of the challenge. The first one is deconditioning. By the end of this, I should be able to detach myself and to be just more present and aware of what I'm consuming and have that pause and gap before I take the action. Second is energy level. There's a lot of things I want to work on this year, and each time I experience sugar crash, hangover, food coma, I'm stealing the time that I can use to work on meaningful things. So I'm hoping by the end of this, I will experience a more stable and improved energy level that will last me throughout the day. Third is body fat. This is more like a bonus for me. I've had this stubborn belly that have been sitting for a long time. I've been stuck at 15% body fat and have not been able to go lower than that. So I want to see if by reducing alcohol and sugar can help with reducing my waistline. On top of having been vegan for 6 months before, one thing that is certainly helping me with this challenge is the fact that my office provides free lunch and breakfast with a wide range of healthy, plant-based friendly options. So it definitely makes a huge difference on not having to stress what to eat and not to eat every day. Everything is properly labeled, so I know what to avoid, which food contains sugar, and look, they've even got eggless mayo. So I certainly feel very grateful for such luxury. All I've got to do on the weekdays now is just to run away from the dessert corner as fast as I can. So I have actually had lunch, but because I can't snack any of the chips or like sugar stuff today in the office, so for the next 30 days, well, I'm going to get double lunch or snack instead. I went out for the first time on this diet and I thought it would be challenging because I might be tempted to have what my friends are having or be pressured to drink. But I realized the type of friends you go out with will make a difference. This type of group happened to be health conscious. We went to an Indian restaurant which was perfect for this diet. Most of them ordered lime juice without sugar, which I ended up getting as well. So the whole thing turned out to be quite effortless. My energy has been a lot more stable. My body has become more reliable. I could continue on with my work without worrying that I will crash or I will feel tired to continue. Another challenge that I encountered was when I had to go to this cafe, and this cafe didn't have any vegan options. I managed to talk to the staff, and the staff was really friendly. She talked to the chef and they custom made like a vegan shroom aglio olio for me. So that's what I realized. Even though if your environment doesn't have a lot of vegan friendly restaurants or food places, you can always talk to them and they can always take something out of the original recipe or menu to like provide something that is suitable for your diet. What has also been helpful is surrounding myself with like-minded people, even just by being around them, not necessarily having to constantly update each other. Even that one time face-to-face kind of meeting has been super helpful in reinforcing this idea that what you're doing is not really unmanageable.
Tell us, what challenge are you on this month?
No meat, no alcohol, no added sugar.
Vegetarian, forever. Forever.
Forever.
What's your motivation to do this?
For the environment, because I don't know where most of the meat I eat comes from, so I want to be more sustainable.
Just self-challenge myself. Second is health.
I have no good reason to eat meat. Like, it's not good for my body, it's not good for the environment, it's not good for the animals. I just like it tastes good. With a very strong reason.
Health, primarily. Also, sugar, I find very addictive. So helping to control that addiction by cutting it out and then really intentionally adding it back in where it truly brings joy and not just feeding a craving.
That's what the challenge.
So today I'm making vegan pulled jackfruit tacos. I'm holding a men's circle tonight. I call it Dudes Talk Feelings. I literally just learned how to cut yellow onion. So let's see how this goes. It's a fucking mess.
So the onions have become translucent and weakened.
So next I'm going to cut off this young green jackfruits. So yes, jackfruit could be a good substitute for meat. When I first heard about it, I was like, oh. But actually, if they're green, they won't taste sweet. They're actually quite meaty. Wow, I'm sounding pretty legit. So I literally just chopped the last can of jackfruit here. And you can see that there's a lot of jackfruit that I just chopped. And the reason I'm doing so much of this is because there's another party I'm going to, is a potluck, and because I don't want to cook twice, because I'm a highly optimized millennial who don't want to waste any single minute, I'm gonna cook everything in just like one big batch. Look at those juices coming out of the jackfruits. And now I'm just gonna like crumble this tofu and then mix it with this sauce that I just made. But guys, just want to say, ever since I turned vegan, I can't live without tofu. Not only is it a huge source of protein, but I just love the taste of it. It's so versatile. I can make it into like scrambled tofu, my burger patty. There's just so much use of tofu. Tofu for life, guys. So I'm just gonna like mash this tofu up. Such a good texture. I just love the sound of mashed up tofu. Hear that? Hear that?
So the tofu crumble is ready. I'm pretty happy.
The challenge with eating healthy is sometimes you need to sacrifice your social life. So one of the workarounds I found is just to host my own dinner and invite my friends over. Even though it takes effort, I find at the end it gives me a huge fulfillment to see my friends enjoying what I created with my own hands. Most importantly for this challenge, it allows me to enjoy my friends' company within the boundary of healthy and tasty options that I provided. So I had started going to more social events by this point, which means that I had to make the conscious effort to avoid all the non-Buddha diet-friendly options. And surprisingly, it went pretty well. Avoiding dessert is one of the hardest parts, but without alcohol, I still had a really good time socializing. Regardless of all this, I'm not touching any of it. Initially, when I saw the amount of drinks in front of me, I was still triggered, but after some time, I was just really engaged in good conversations. I didn't have the time or the need to even crave for the buzz from alcohol.
You're a YouTuber, you!
I guess it's also my own placebo because I wanted to prove to myself that I could have fun without alcohol. I guess that tricked my brain to produce its own dopamine, or maybe it's just another proof that the whole thing about having alcohol in a social setting is just a big conspiracy theory, and you don't actually need to drink in order to feel good as long as you're in good company. So the last 2 weeks have been the most challenging in the month so far. I went to Indonesia for work, so which means I'm taken out of my day-to-day routine. The hotel where I'm staying at, for example, when I went for the breakfast buffet, I had to really tap on my strength to avoid all the dessert corner, fried eggs, omelette. That's like my go-to meal that has been kind of like ingrained in my system. So I just have to like be really conscious and tell myself, okay, you don't actually have to have this. And actually, surprisingly, I ended up having a lot of really good hearty meal. And surprisingly, I'm very full. So I think most of the times when I'm like overload my plate with a lot of like desserts and like stuff that is not healthy, it's just purely like heart hunger, because even by finishing this healthy light breakfast, I'm feeling really full and happy and satisfied. So life is good. In Chinese New Year is always a part of our custom to have these jars and boxes of biscuits and sweets for you to munch on as you gather with your relatives. This is honestly one of the things that I really look forward to, but despite knowing that Chinese New Year falls in this month, I still chose to do my Buddha diet. In fact, it motivated me even more to do my Buddha diet this month because I know that it's going to be a perfect opportunity or a true test of my resilience. Surprisingly, by this point, I was already conditioned well to avoid unhealthy options that I wasn't even tempted anymore. But at one point, my uncle opened a really good whiskey and honestly, I was triggered. He asked me to have a sip and the smell really instigated this eye and heart hunger inside me. But I persisted, I said no, I had water instead and I kept refilling this bowl of plant-based meal to keep me occupied for the next 4 hours of chatting. So I was really proud of myself. It felt really good to be able to take full control of my own body, not to fall victim to the lure of whatever I see in front of me, and to really align my action with my intention.
Cheers to Edric's Buddha diet.
But I won't attribute my success entirely to my willpower. In fact, James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, says that motivation and even talent is often overvalued. In many cases, the environment matters more. In my case, I've really got my family to thank for being so supportive in my challenge during my stay with them. My mom will always make sure that tasty plant-based options are always available at home or every time we go out, which I'm telling you is not easy because plant-based diet is just not a thing in Indonesia. So I learned that in order to create a new habit successfully, we need to first make sure that our environment is conducive and well optimized to make the right decisions easy. So I'm finally done with my Buddha diet challenge and I feel good. I feel really good actually. It just feels very empowering to be able to feel good at any given moment just because I choose to. I definitely feel more attuned now to my hunger. Every time I feel the urge to want to eat something, I will really ask myself, is it really a biological hunger? Do I really feel the need to eat right now? In terms of energy level, I definitely felt a lot more stable energy. Let's take a look at the data. I split my evaluation into 2 slots, afternoon from 12 to 4 and evening between 4 to 10 p.m. In the afternoon, I saw at least a constant 4 out of 5 in energy level, and there's a positive growth week over week with more constant 5 towards the end of the week. For the evening though, even though in the second week I saw an increase in energy level, but towards the third and the fourth week, I saw a steep decline to the point where it's worse than my evening energy level in the first week. I don't think this is caused by my Buddha diet though. It's a correlation, not causation. In the last 2 weeks, I was traveling for work. I had back-to-back meetings where I felt more lethargic because I was mentally more exhausted. And lastly, how did this diet affect my physique? I did lose 2.2 kilos from 61.5 kilo in the beginning to 59.3 kilo. Unfortunately, based on my SMART scale, this is due to my muscle mass loss. So I didn't lose my body fat. In fact, my body fat stayed the same at 14.9%. I'm not sure how accurate this SMART scale is though, because I did see probably a subtle improvement in my body definition, and especially in the belly area. Overall, I think it's a really good positive outcome. I definitely love the stable energy that I have every single day. And I want to continue with my plant-based diet as much as possible. I think I'll be a little bit more flexible, but I definitely want to cut out a lot of sugar and alcohol in my day-to-day. So yeah, I think I don't want to stop with this diet after 30 days. I definitely want to make this a lifestyle to be healthy and to want the energy and my mental clarity instead of trading it for momentary transient pleasure. But until then, I am going to have my favorite Chinese New Year dessert, which I have resisted for a long time, that is full of sugar and full of butter and full of scene. My camera died in the last minute, guys. It's almost as if the universe just doesn't want me to consume sugar at all completely. So worth it. Oh. Bomb.